assuming that our locations created some logistical nightmares, but here we are. Good evening, Janice. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, good. I can see you. So, Janice, this is something I've always dreamt of doing. Well, always. Periscope just came out 2 weeks ago. So I've got Periscope and webinar or you. What's the platform we're on? YouTube.
YouTube, Google Hangout.
So we're doing a Google Hangout and a Periscope simultaneously. So I was motivated by Bishop Lester Love because he's the king of Periscope, and I wanted to make sure he understood that although I'm a bit older than he is, I can handle social media and technology and international ministry at the same time. So those of you who are on Periscope, tell your friends, especially those that are snowed in, to come on Periscope now. Send me some hearts, send me some hearts, send me some hearts. I need many, many more hearts. I haven't been on Periscope in a while, so I need some hearts. And those who are on Google Hangout, what can they send, Janice? Can they send anything? Can they send an email, a text message?
They can comment in the chat room.
Good. Comment on the chat room. Tell me you're there. Now, from my scopers, before we get any further, would you please tell us where you are? All right, Danielle, good to see you. Maria, good to see you. Pastor Pierre, who do we have on? Janice, on YouTube?
Madam President, Michelle.
Michelle Obama.
I think that's Tamika.
Oh, Tamika. Okay. Judy, I see Judy's on Periscope. Dr. Phillips, welcome, Dr. Phillips. Danielle, could you get us started with some hearts, please? This is the first live Periscope Google Hangout simulcast you've ever participated in. Somebody ought to give me some love just for trying it. And not only is it a simulcast, but I'm in Nassau, Bahamas. I did my Bible study this morning with First Baptist members from Nassau, Bahamas. Thank God for our online ministry. You know, when I saw the weather forecast on Thursday that we were going to have multiple inches and feet of snow right in the middle of the weather forecast, the Lord spoke to me. It was like the handwriting on the wall in Belshazzar's palace. It was like the bush burning on Moses Mountain. The Lord said, go to the Bahamas. And so I changed my ticket. I got on a flight Friday morning, and I've been suffering for the gospel in the sunshine while my staff and family have been responding to the will of God, shoveling snow. Scopers, I need some more hearts. Danielle Brown can't be the only person that sends me some hearts. This is a simulcast. If you have your laptop or if you have another phone handy, there we go, hearts. I love hearts. Charles, Brother Brown, you ought to be on. You had a day off today with pay. So your whole crew, the whole band ought to be on, wherever you are. I hope you're home. All right, we're going to get started with tonight's D-Free update. This is our first update of the year. As I said, I'm in Nassau, Bahamas. Our technology and digital marketing guru is on with me, for those who don't know her. Her name is Janice Slaughter. She's from...
I'm the backup.
You're the what?
I'm the backup.
No, you're the one. You are the person that we're going to introduce tonight. You're going to share our marketing digital strategy plan and update until further notice. So, do you think this is a good idea, Miss? You're the digital guru. First of all, let's talk technology. Have you ever participated in a live Periscope Google Hangout simulcast before?
No.
Have you ever thought about it? Did it ever occur to you that these two technologies could work together so harmoniously?
No.
Good. So you can write this down in your digital file that your non-technical pastor gave you a digital marketing idea. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now listen, you know, I'm in Nassau because Bishop Neil Ellis, who is the founder and prelate of the global ministries, the global, I think it's Global Urban Ministries. He's the pastor of the Mount Tabor Church. That's the key thing. And Bishop Ellis came to the D-Free conference in November. He and his lovely wife, Lady Ellis, they were there for our service on Friday night. We had some strategy meetings, and Bishop Ellis decided two things. One, he decided that D-Free would be appropriate for the members of his church here in the Bahamas. The Mount Tabor Church is a significant church. It's a full gospel Baptist church. And the second is that he also decided that the Global United Fellowship, that's what it is, Global United Fellowship, and there are some 600 churches would be introduced to D-Free. And so I'm here really to speak on Monday night and Tuesday night to launch D-Free at the Mount Tabor Church. We will be meeting with their leadership team Tuesday during the day. And then from that point on, we'll be working with the church to help them lead the small island nation of the Bahamas towards financial freedom. What I've learned about the Bahamas since planning to come here is no different than what's happening in other countries and certainly in the United States, in South Africa, in Ghana. And that is that consumer debt is undermining the ability of individuals, families, and entire nations to develop economic security. And what we're trying to do is to create a shift in the way people think through a shift in the way people spend so that we can have a shift in economic outcomes. So that's where I am today. I've spent the last 2 days really catching up on work. I've been here at the hotel. It's not hot in Nassau, but I'm sure I'll get no sympathy from those who have 2 feet of snow because it's also not cold. I will leave here on Wednesday morning to fly to Columbia, South Carolina, the state of my wife's birth. And in Columbia, South Carolina, we're going to launch D-Free in the Right Directions Ministries. Bishop Bailey is the leader of that ministry, and we'll be contacting all of the churches that have made inquiries of us in the Columbia region in South Carolina to ensure that we can spend some time with them. I'll be speaking Wednesday night and prayerfully working to assign a timetable to the launch, the full launch of implementing D-Free in Columbia, South Carolina. From Columbia, I'll go home, and then next weekend I'm taking a few vacation days from the church. I'll be addressing a gathering of some very significant families in California next weekend. So this month, although the year is young, this month we have been in multiple places. I started this month by traveling to Miami, Florida with MC Light and a group of high-powered women from the entertainment and communications industries, almost all of them African-American, and a very influential group. And then I flew from there to Detroit, Michigan to be on the Word Network with Pastor Jamal Bryant from the Empowerment Center in Baltimore. And we talked about the newest version of the D-Free book. You know, the first version of the D-Free book was called Breaking Free from Financial Slavery. The new updated edition is called 12 Steps to Financial Freedom. It's the same core content, but some of the data, the statistics, and just a few nuances are updated in the second book. If you have the first book, there's no need to buy the second book, but if you just want the updated version, it's available through Amazon.com and wherever books are sold. So we went to do the TV show on the Word Network. From there, we went to a phenomenal church right outside of Washington, D.C. in PG County, Maryland, Reed Temple African Methodist Episcopal Church. And at that church, Pastor Washington, Pastor Watley, we were at their third location, and I preached there that night, and they intend to order books for their bookstore as they've been supportive of and involved in D3 for the last couple of years. That was on the Tuesday night, and then I went from there to Memphis, Tennessee, to be with the leadership of the African Methodist Episcopal Church. 5 bishops were there: Bishop Washington, Bishop Bryant, Bishop DeVoe was there, my friend Bishop Jackson was there, Bishop from Cape Town, South Africa was there. And I spent 3 days with the AME leadership talking about D3, and they have decided that through their Department of Church Growth and Evangelism, they're going to offer D3 to AME churches throughout the country. And we are attempting to organize pilot training in 3 geographical locations. Location number 1 is the Los Angeles area. And of course, we have interest from the National Baptist, the Full Gospel Baptist, and now the AME churches in the Los Angeles area. That's region number 1 for the African Methodist Episcopal Church. Then region number 2 is Central Ohio, and we're going to connect the AMEs in Central Ohio, based in Dayton, Ohio, to the Baptists, where we're going next month. I'll talk more about that in a few minutes. We're going to link them to the Baptists that are based in Columbus under the direction of Pastor Keith Troy, and hopefully the Baptists and the Methodists will work together to bring D3 to that region. Then, of course, Bishop Clark from the Church of God, he's in Columbus. Bishop Bellinger, who is with the Pentecostal Church in Columbus, they're also interested in working together. So we have the makings of a very interesting interdenominational African-American contingency in Columbus, Ohio. But the AME Church has selected that as their second place for our training pilot, Central Ohio. And then the third will be in Southern Florida. The leader of the Church Growth and Evangelism Department for the AME Church, Dr. Wade, has a passionate interest in our working with the leaders in Southern Florida. And that really is perfect for us because we have a great church, the Mount Olive Baptist Church, under the leadership of Marcus Davidson. Young pastor, has been there 6 years, followed a real giant of a pastor, Matt King Carter, who was there for at least 40 years. And so the Methodists and the Baptists should be working together in Southern Florida. So that was a very effective week. We came away with some significant interest, and I didn't buy any new shoes. I just want you to know that. The following week, we were in Birmingham, Alabama, and we did 2 things there. There's a small cluster of churches in Birmingham, and that cluster of churches is ready. I mean, they're ready for training. In fact, Tamika will talk more about the training. I think she's on. We're going to begin training Pastor Craig, a pastor of 34 years, very credible, very integral, very inspiring senior pastor in the Birmingham area. We went to his church on our way to the National Baptist Convention, and George Gardner was with me from First Baptist. My son Martin was there. Reverend Keenan Thomas was there. And we thought we were going to have dinner with 2 or 3 people, including Pastor Craig, at his church to talk strategy. When I walked in that Monday night, there was a church full of people, probably 7 or 8 pastors, a congregation there waiting, and we ended up spending a good amount of time. If we had had a choir, we could have taken up an offering. But we were there really to be surprised by the intense interest in D3 in Birmingham already. And so what we're going to do is follow up with Pastor Craig with the training that Tamika will talk about. So that was fine. We went then the next day to the National Baptist Convention, USA Incorporated. That's the largest black organization in the world, really, and it's the largest African-American denomination in the country. It is led by Reverend Dr. Jerry Young from Jackson, Mississippi. We were there on Wednesday. We spoke in the morning, spoke in the afternoon. We came away from there with a number of state convention presidents that have invited us now to to train through those conventions in the D-Free strategy and curriculum. The president of the Maryland Baptist Convention, the president of the Washington, D.C. Baptist Convention, the president of the Pennsylvania Baptist Convention, the president of the Baptist Ministers Association in Baltimore, Maryland. And the list just goes on. The response was overwhelming. We sold out of books, we sold out of workbooks, and we got a ringing endorsement from the president of the convention. The presentations that I gave at the National Baptist Convention are on our YouTube page, which I guess some of you are on already because you're watching this. If you're on Periscope, you can go to youtube.com/mydfree, and you'll see the presentations. I spoke in the morning and the afternoon. I was very direct. I talked about the history of the black church. I talked about the future of the black church. And I talked about some of the challenges we have, both in terms of stewardship, evangelism, and discipleship, all to prepare the pastors who were there for the idea that if we don't have a strategy, then the future will catch you by surprise. Those of you who are tweeting, especially those on Periscope, you may want to say that you heard me say that we should not let the future catch us by surprise. The worst thing you can do is to wake up tomorrow and be surprised that it's tomorrow. You had all day today to prepare for the fact that tomorrow's coming. And when the future catches you by surprise, you end up living yesterday's reality, even though it's already tomorrow. So the Baptist Convention in Birmingham was overwhelmingly receptive, and we're just grateful to God for Pastor Jerry Young. The General Secretary of the National Baptist Convention is an old friend of mine from Garfield, New Jersey, Reverend Calvin McKinney. And Reverend McKinney has really taken the reins of executing the D-Free movement within the National Baptist Convention. But we're currently doing a pilot for D-Free with the Western Regional Vice President of the National Baptist Convention, who is Reverend Claiborne Lee. Reverend Lee's church, by the way, is the church that has purchased the most D-Free books in the last 3 years. Prior to that, the church that bought the most books was the church led by Bishop Smith in Chicago, but Bishop Smith's church bought 800 books. Reverend Claiborne Lee's church in Fairfield, California bought 823 books. Yes, 823 D-Free books were purchased by Reverend Claiborne Lee and his church in Fairfield, California. And his church is going to be one of the regional sites that we use in 2016 to have a larger D-Free event where we take in speakers and singers and really ramp up the pressure on financial slavery and seek to help the Lord deliver some financial captives to freedom. So that's where we were the week before last, Birmingham, Alabama, and then came home to do some work before coming to Nassau. So the year's off to a good start. We have some financial support that is going to increase as soon as we complete some negotiations, and that financial support will be used to hire 2 or 3 staff people so that we can follow up and really help churches on a day-to-day basis. So far, we've been working with a fledgling crew of volunteers and 2 or 3 part-time people that do work from time to time. But now we're going to really build out our infrastructure to ensure that we have an office and we have someone to answer the phones. We can train people who will train people. We're updating our leaders' guides. We are expecting to do at least 1 group training somewhere in the country every single month, if not 2. The website's going to be expanded, and we're just very excited. I'm very excited. I didn't expect to be this excited this late in life, but I am excited, and I certainly want to thank you, Janice, for helping us plan for the next level of our digital presence and our digital communications. And Tamika, of course, I want to thank you for all of the work you've done in the last couple of years to help us stay in touch with people. Angela has done a fine job. Listen, ladies, I talked to Angela just about an hour ago. We have over 1,000 churches in our database.
Excellent.
1,000. I didn't realize that. We have over 1,000 churches, and many of those church representatives represent groups of churches. So, for instance, Reverend Keith Troy is in our database, but he represents 25 churches. Dr. Williams in Los Angeles is in our database. He represents 33 churches. Bishop Jackson's in our database, and when he becomes the bishop of the jurisdiction that he expects to become bishop over, he plans to have 500 churches. So many of those 1,000 church representatives are actually representatives of not just an individual church, but groups of churches. And so the future looks bright. We're very excited. And Tamika, why don't you talk more about the training that we're going to be doing?
Okay. So as Pastor mentioned, we are expanding our efforts, and along with that, can you guys hear me? Am I talking? Yes. We are expanding our training module. We originally were doing D-Free trainings quarterly, and they were all online, and it would take us about 3 nights to get through it. We know we shrunk that down this year to about 3 or 4 hours, but now we're going to expand it again. We have, as Pastor mentioned, Birmingham, Alabama is actually going to be our first training date. And during that time, what we will do is do one evening of launch preparation, where we sit down with churches and really talk to them about the D-Free philosophy, the biblical foundations, and what it's going to take to actually launch the ministry. And then we spend a few hours the next day actually going over the content and taking leaders through the D-Free process in a compressed amount of time so that they can get familiar with what their congregants are actually going to experience. So I think we're at a good happy medium now with this model where people can actually get what they need from an implementation standpoint, but also from a content standpoint. We've identified about 15 different cities that we're going to try to hit this year in a tour of sorts, where we come out and actually do our D-Free training and do some events around that. I don't want to give dates too soon because we're still solidifying them, but just know we'll be in Alabama first. We're also working on a streaming component to that, so that if you're not in Alabama or you're not wherever we are and you want to participate in training, you will be able to do so. So we're very excited. We are looking forward to supporting more churches. We do have tons of training videos online, so if you're ready to get started tonight, we can make that happen. You can email us at info@mydfree.org and we'll get you started. But that's where we are.
Yeah, thank you, Tamika. Did you know that we're doing a simulcast right now with Periscope and Google Hangout? Did you know that?
I just saw you pick up your phone, so now I see that we're Periscoping, Google Hangouting, and everything.
This is, and even our digital guru had never even conceived or imagined doing Periscope and Google Hangout at the same time. So as proficient and profound a mind that she has, it still took her pastor, who knows nothing about technology, to expand the scope and vision of her digitized mind to understand the potential. Even though
I don't have a digitized mind, I just show up.
It took me 10 minutes to join, but I'm here now. And I need some more hearts, because you all have never participated in a Periscope, Google Hangout live broadcast before. Come on, folks, give it up for the pastor. Don't let the snow. All right, so here are 2 other things that people should get ready for. Now, Danielle, listen to this, because you've got friends all across the country. There are 5 specific events that we know we're going to do that are going to be bigger than just a regular Wednesday night service. We're going to have what we call at least a tier 2 event, where we do a large gathering. We bring in some professional experts. We have a 100-voice choir from that area. Of course, I'll go in and preach. And we're going to do it in Northern California. Pastor Lee is going to give us a date. We're going to do one in Houston, Texas, and Pastor Sloan at the Luke is going to give us a date. We're going to do a huge one, probably the biggest one outside of New Jersey, in Indianapolis, and Pastor Webster is going to give us a date. We're going to do a large event, as I mentioned, in southern Florida, and Pastor Davidson is going to give us a date. Now, I'm hoping we'll do one in Louisville, Kentucky, because I promised Pastor Bruce Williams we would come there. He is on fire for D-Free. And then, of course, in November, we're going to invite all of our D-Free churches to come together in November at our annual D-Free conference for testimonies, for celebration. We're going to have some awards and recognition built into the process, and so you can put it on your calendars right now. What's the date? November what?
The 12th through the 14th.
November 12th, 13th, and 14th. It's going to be at First Baptist. It'll either be free or close to free, and just put it on your calendars right now. Get ready and meet us there. Now, the second thing is we are probably 85% done with the production of the D-Free online course. Many people have difficulty making it out to churches. There are many churches that just don't have the capacity to do as many classes as people need, and then there are people who just would rather go through the curriculum, the writing down of wants and needs, the listing of all bills and debts. Many people would rather just do that in the privacy of their own homes or at their own pace. And so what we've done is we've gone into the studio, we've recorded newer videos than the one that are on YouTube today. We have a summary of each chapter on YouTube. It's connected to the playlist called All Right TV. We call it D-Free to Be Free. That's not really a curriculum as much as it is a summary of each chapter that's used in conjunction with the curriculum. We have expanded that now, and there'll be 3 videos for each chapter of the book. There'll be fillable PDF files so that you can literally go to class at home and get a certificate at the end. That will be ready very soon. I'm waiting desperately to find out when the video and the graphics will all come together. But the videos are done for levels 1 and 2. The graphics are done. The platform, I believe, has been chosen, and we're working very hard to get that online as soon as possible. I'll be going back into the studio 2 weeks from now to do levels 3 and 4, and so by mid-year, the entire D-Free course will be online for free. You can go through it at your own pace, in your own house, on your own phone or tablet, and we're very excited about that. Tamika, if we had time for a station break, or if we had reason for one, I would take a break, but then during the break, I would ask you, why do you look green? Do you know that
because yes, I do know that I look green. Because I just wanted to be green today.
It's on purpose.
No, not really. I just couldn't figure out why it couldn't be green. why it wasn't green. But we're talking about money, so I think it fits. Listen,
all right.
Roll with it. I did want to real quick make a correction to the dates for the conference. It's actually November 10th through the 12th, so that Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
I posted it in the chat, but I wanted to make sure people that are watching will know that it's November 10th through the 12th of 2016.
That's good. And I also want to mention that right now on the D-Free website, mydfree.org, you can pre-register for the online course. And if you pre-register, we'll begin emailing you certain items to help you prepare for it. You can subscribe to our newsletter. Every Monday morning, I send out a devotional called Meditation for Financial Freedom. I can't send it to you unless you give me permission. And so I want you to go to the mydfree.org website and just click a button. We won't sell your name. We won't give your contact information away. But we do need your permission to send you the material that we have. And we have a lot of material. So you could actually you can go there right now, or you could wait until we're done. But the online course is available for pre-registration. And the people who do pre-register have begun hearing from us already. If you did pre-register and you've never heard from us, send an email to info, I-N-F-O, info@mydfree.org and say, look, I signed up and I never heard from you. Remember, we've been working primarily with volunteers. In the next 4 to 6 weeks, we plan to staff up. We're getting some financial support that was unsolicited. People called us and said, we love what you're doing. We want to help you do more. And we welcome their help, because the more help we get, the more we can help others. What I've been doing basically is using book sale money to cover people's expenses, but the demand has now outstripped our supply. Thank God for Prudential. Prudential's been a wonderful partner. We had a few corporations that gave us money for the conference, and we had a little money left over to do some extra things. Think Finance, Merrill Lynch, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley. We just have friends that have helped us. Aquin hand-delivered a check in November. But now we're actually going after more support. We're formally asking people to help us because we really know how to help people. We know how to help people identify gifts that they have to increase their income. We know how to do that. We know how to teach people to save $50 to $75 a month on their cable bill. We know how to do that. I mean, we have some very specific successes that we've gathered, and we've learned how to do what we call D-free. We've learned how to help people pay as they go, pay the bills on time, live within their means. That's no debt, delinquencies, and deficits, so that those same people can have their names on deeds, make deposits, and earn dividends. It's happening all over the country. We're going to be capturing more testimonies. We're building a church page on the D3 website. We're gathering the best minds that you can ever imagine. We've got Lynn Califani-Cox. By the way, did you all see that Lynn Califani-Cox, our expert on credit scores, is going to be on Good Morning America Monday morning? Tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, Lynn Califani-Cox will be on Good Morning America. All D3 people, all D3 churches should tune in. If you don't tune in, TiVo it, record it, do whatever you have to do, because no one knows as much about helping people get out of debt and fix their credit score than Lynn Califani-Cox. She's the money coach, and she travels with us. We're going to try to take her every place we go because she's just awesome. All right. So did we forget anything?
No, I do just want to make a quick plug for our upcoming D-Free seminar, which will be...
I got to get you on Periscope. Don't make a plug.
Oh, okay. I'm waiting.
I'm
waiting.
All right. Go ahead. Plug
okay. Just want to do a quick commercial for our upcoming D-Free seminar. It'll be Saturday, February 20th. We're calling it Fast Forward. You guys all know that we started with a 21-day financial fast back in January. Hopefully, if you started, you're sticking with it. It should probably be painful at about this point, but we want to give you some relief at the end of it and really have a debrief session to talk about what you experienced and then talk about the next steps and what you can do to continue on your journey to financial freedom. So join us Saturday, February 20th, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be live streaming, so go ahead and register for that on the website. It'll be up probably tomorrow. And I think that's the only commercial I have right now.
Yeah. Thank you, Tamika. I'm trying to get back to me. All right. So now, to my Periscope people, I'm disappointed because not enough of you used your influence to bring more people on, although you were very kind to give us lots of hearts. And I promise I'm coming on Periscope at least once a week. As long as you send hearts, I'm coming back on. But the 21-day fast is something that I should have mentioned really at the beginning. Many of our people around the country are involved in this 21-day financial fast. It's really created by Michelle Singletary, who writes for the Washington Post and is just the author of the book called The 21-Day Financial Fast. She launched it at our facility, and people streamed it live, and people are engaged across the country. It's very difficult. At the very least, the 21-day financial fast will humble us and convince us that we need D-free, because I give you 12 weeks, she gives you 21 days. And what you'll discover in 21 days is that you need the 12 weeks. In fact, you need, some of us need 12 years. You know, it took me 3 years to actually come out of debt, change my financial situation, improve my credit score, have some money in the bank. 3 years. 3 years from the day I decided to change my life. It took me and God 3 years. I was in such a mess. My credit score was so bad. My bills were so high. My lifestyle was so crazy. It took me 3 years. But it would take longer if you don't start. The only way to get financially sound and financially free is to start. And that's why in the book we say, get started. Level 1 is get started. People ask, well, how do I start? By starting. And we of course have a book and a workbook that you can purchase If you go to Amazon.com, you can buy a copy of the book and the workbook. Just Google my name, Google D-Free, and you'll see both the original book and the updated book. You can get the workbook. The book sells on Amazon for about $10 or $12. The book sells retail $14.99. The old book sells at $14.99. The new book sells at $15.99. The old workbook sells for something, I don't know, I think $9.99. The new workbook sells at $14.99. But the reality is that the world is becoming more complicated. You know, this month has been horrendous for the stock market. The price of oil has gone down. One would think that that's good news, but the reality is that the drop in the price of oil, coupled with the drama that the Chinese are going through, is causing a global economic crisis. Most of us that have money in our retirement accounts that are tied to the stock market have lost 10 to 20, some 30% of our retirement is gone because of what's happening in China and how it affects the United States. And so you have to know what short-term and long-term strategies to engage, but putting your head in the sand, not thinking about it, just having a good time, partying your life away, does not solve the problem. For every economic circumstance, there is an economic strategy. And during every financial period, somebody's making money. And what we want is for our people to become participants and not be victims of the economic trends that occur. So we're going to be here this year. We're going to expand everything that we're doing now. We're going to deepen it. We're going to broaden it. And you'll know when we've been successful because Tamika will no longer look like a Martian on our webinar. She will look like an African American who is not green, but she really is black. I guess you could tell by the braids, but she's really not. She really is black.
But I prefer to be covered in green. I prefer to be covered in money. So that's where I am right now.
You prefer to be covered in green. Your goal. You've been successful in your quest.
Mission accomplished.
All right, Janice, did we miss anything that you need to add?
No, not that I can think of. I think you covered everything.
You need to say hi to your mom in Virginia. Hey, Mom. That's right. Mom, Janice's mom is our #1 fan and long distance member. All right. Okay, so I want my Periscope friends to accept my appreciation for your participation. This is history. This is absolute history. I think, Janice, we should contact Google and Periscope or Twitter, whoever they are, and let them know we've helped them make history. Look it up.
I like it.
Look it up and see if anybody else has done this. If they haven't, you should nominate D-Free for some kind of technology award, and then we'll let Steve Harvey announce the winner.
Right.
That way we'll be guaranteed to win if we don't win.
You know. See?
All right. God bless y'all. We're going to sign. Can we sign off now?
Yes, we're signing off. Peace from the green.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
I know Billy Stansfield. Billy Stansfield is a permanent Periscope. I don't think Billy eats. He watches Periscope all day. Pastor Billy, God bless you, son. Thanks for the hearts. All right. Janice, thank you for hooking us up tonight.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry about the issues in the beginning, everyone.
I'll be praying. I'll be praying for you in the snow. And by the time I get home, pray that the Lord gets all the snow out of my driveway. Okay?
Yeah, that's why I'm green too. I was outside shoveling. Yeah, great.
I got it.
All right.
Okay, take care.
Peace out. Good night, guys.